Hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome to 2022. 2021 was quite a ride, wasn't it? Well, I've got news for you. It's not exactly about to calm down just yet. Good to see you survived. So this is good. If you're watching, I'm presuming you're not in the spirit plane. You're actually here with us on Earth right now. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit about what's coming up this week and also this year in general, because some of the themes for the whole year are actually already going to be showing up this week, and it will have started yesterday as well. So I just want to cover that. 2022, the energy of 2022 just isn't going to be waiting around for anyone. She's here, she's letting herself be known, and we'd better be ready for her. So here we go. Now, I've been saying for a while that 2022 is going to be an emotional year, and I stand by that, not least because the year number is made up of three twos. Two is a very, very emotional number. It's probably the most emotional single-digit number that we have in numerology. It's a number which talks about emotion, but it also talks about polarities and extremes. And so it really can push us to go to extremes to uncover very dark aspects of ourselves, but also to uncover very light aspects of ourselves that maybe we weren't aware of. So it is very interesting. And when number two energy is balanced, we really find the perfect center. It's like the yin and yang in perfect harmony. So it's incredibly important that we learn how to balance those energies. And that's certainly a challenge that I think the world is going to have to step up to in 2022. So we've got three twos, which adds up to six, and number six is the sacred chalice. We can also speak of choices, dilemmas, and it's about the heart. So at first blush, to me, this energy is about making heart-centered choices, exploring extremes of emotion, and perhaps extremes of polarities as well. And I think the world is very polarized in certain aspects right now. We have people with very, very polarized opinions about lots and lots of things, very, very little meeting in the middle. Very few people are anywhere near meeting others in the middle right now, or if they are, they're kind of scared to, and so people are kind of picking a side, and it's a very kind of dualistic energy. I guess we're kind of stuck in two groups on many, many different subjects, and that's very sad because we can't go on like that. That's not sustainable, it's not helpful, it's not healthy. And I think if we are successful in learning our spiritual lessons this year, it can actually be a very, very powerful time for all of us, because we have the potential to balance these numbers. And when we can balance all of those polarized emotions, all of that difficult stuff, look at our shadow here, look at our light there, I think we actually have a really fantastic opportunity to actually find what you might call our heart's desire, to actually find real fulfillment, to find something very powerful and very joyful moving forward, so we can all kind of level up and move up a level in our own happiness and contentment, which is, that would be a fantastic outcome. But that's the potential that's here this year. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. I would say that obviously with everything going on in the world right now, it's not going to be an easy year. I think under any circumstances, even if this wasn't happening, it wouldn't be an easy year. Something else would be happening just because of the energy around these numbers. And I think in some ways people will actually be more polarized than ever at first. Some people will stay there, but others will come away from the polarities and really start to find some middle ground. And I think what we're going to see is some of the older souls, some of the more evolved souls who are here, you know, as teachers, as helpers, maybe as empaths, here to genuinely help humanity. They're the ones who are going to be trying to pull the groups back together again and let them see that actually we have more in common than not. We are all human. We have a lot in common because we're all human beings. You know, we genuinely all have more in common than not. You know, we all bleed when you cut us. You know, it's that old adage. It might sound a bit tired, but it's still absolutely 100% true. Yeah, and I think those are what I call the integration workers, and that's what I've been calling myself for a while. I dropped the moniker of light worker a couple of years ago because I realized it just didn't fit anymore. It was appropriate at the time when I was using it, but now I think it's more appropriate for those of us working to bring harmony on Earth, who are working to bring in the age of Aquarius in the best way possible. I think it's more accurate to call us integration workers, because we are trying to integrate all different aspects of humanity to find true healing, and that's how we can all move forwards. You know, we can all level up and find greater levels of peace, contentment, happiness, joy, compassion. We can really start to become the beings that we have the potential to be. And that is something truly wonderful. But I think integration is the key word for us. We are integration workers. So these are the integration workers who are really going to be trying to pull the groups back together, but trying to do it in the right way. Now, it won't always work. I do actually foresee some clashes between polarized groups this year, very much. But this is our job, basically, those of us who consider ourselves to be here to help humanity. That's basically the work we're going to be doing in whatever way it shows up in our lives and on our paths, because we're all going to do it in an individual way, in our own way. So I'm also going to call this year the year of the seeker, the spiritual seeker, because I'm showing great numbers of people looking for spiritual truths, looking for answers, looking to learn about life, the universe, the meaning of everything. It's not just 42. I mean, it is, but some people will actually be drawn to the mainstream religions, but many will not. We may even see some new religions cropping up this year, or new spiritual groups that are completely maybe wacky or that we've never heard of before. Just as people really start to explore their spirituality in very new and in very innovative, individual ways, which again, that's the energy of the age of Aquarius we're moving into. It is very innovative, it is very new and zany, and it can be really a bit crazy seeming sometimes, but that is what it is, and it's all part of this exploration of self. But I do think that will be another theme this year, so look out for that. I think that's going to be interesting for sure. So I do just want to take a moment as well to talk about yesterday, which was the 2nd of January. So it was the first number 2 day, if you like, of this 2226 year. Now, what I was shown by my guides is that the decisions, plans, things that we put into motion yesterday, so that was Sunday the 2nd of January, they are going to have a knock-on effect for the rest of the year. So I want you to think back to yesterday, what happened, what was going on there, and I think you're going to find some very strong themes for the rest of the year will have shown themselves on that day. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to predict this for you because I wasn't told in time. So clearly the universe didn't intend for us to know ahead of time. So it didn't intend for me to know ahead of time. So I just kind of had to go with it. But that's how it works sometimes. We're not necessarily supposed to know everything before it happens. And it's interesting because, I mean, for me personally, I'm not just talking about New Year's resolutions here because I haven't made any. I don't do that anymore. It's not a thing for me. I set my intentions as and when I feel I need to, or when I remember. But the energy of the day, how you were feeling, thoughts, feelings, plans, if you did set any resolutions, sure, why not? They can go in the pot as well, but maybe write them down somewhere because you may find those as sort of longer term themes throughout the year. Personally, for me, I felt like I was looking for a whole new direction, a completely fresh start. I don't mean moving away from my spirituality because I absolutely adore that and it's always a part of me. I mean, from other aspects of my life, I was thinking about what am I going to do moving forwards? Am I going to, maybe I'll get a job in the corporate world to help pay for this. Maybe I'll do that to help pay for this. And it was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not for me anymore. I got a very clear message that that's just not for me anymore. I don't belong in the corporate world. The universe has kicked me out of that well and truly. So for me, I actually wasn't feeling my best as well. I was feeling quite groggy and tired, really wasn't feeling great. And that wasn't a 2-day hangover because I really boring. I didn't drink on New Year's Eve at all. I think for me personally, the way I take it is it was a message from the universe to focus on my own personal well-being this year, and that's what I need to be prioritizing. So that was a message for me. So maybe have a look at how you were feeling and see maybe perhaps what themes or what message that might be for you there. So certainly the message for me was I need to take better care of my body, which message received, I will be doing that for sure. So this week, so week commencing 3rd of January, this week marks the first full week of the New Year's energy. And again, we are going to be seeing many patterns which will show up throughout the whole year. appearing this week. So what I'm going to do next for you is I am actually going to pull some cards. So I haven't prepared this part of the reading for everyone. I am going to do this with you. The pack of cards I'm going to be using for you here is the Messenger Oracle. Let me show you that. By Ravynne Phelan. I think she's Australian. Really beautiful deck. I really love this. Is an older version of the deck. I think the new box looks slightly different to this, but I'll try and put a link below so you can check it out if that's something you're interested in. So let's just have a look at these cards here and see what the week has in store for us. And then what I'll do is I'll pull a few cards as well for the rest of the year, just try and get a few more themes if there's anything else they want to tell us. And we'll just go with that and see where they want to go. Okay, so the first theme that we're looking at, okay, all right. Okay, here we have 34, reveal your truth. All right, no more hiding in the shadows this week. You need to stand up and be counted, I'm afraid, and this is incredibly important. Authenticity is something I was actually writing about yesterday because I was writing a new podcast for the spiritual support crew that I haven't recorded yet, but I will. Maybe that's one of my themes for this year, is doing more of my podcasting. But revealing your true self. Wow. No more hiding behind the mask, whether it's figurative or physically, take it off. Show everyone who you really are. And what's interesting about this figure is she looks really interesting, but she also looks a little bit wild. It's revealing your true nature, your wild side, something that's maybe a little bit less polished than you would normally show to the rest of the world, maybe aspects of you that you're not normally comfortable sharing, things that you consider people will find unacceptable or too much or not good enough, things that you're afraid of. But it's very, very important. She's a young girl, but in some ways she looks old. She looks tired. This is a very tired aspect of us that has been hidden for a very, very long time, and I think needs to come out now. So there's no more hiding. This week will challenge you to be very, very authentic. And I mean that in many ways. For example, you may have dealings with people who are very inauthentic, if you work in certain professions, or if you encounter certain people, or if you, I don't know, a good example is on social media. If you encounter someone who's very fake on social media, has a specific persona, or acts like they're perfect, comes across maybe as a bit narcissistic online, you're challenged to meet that person with your full authentic truth. And that is incredibly powerful. Okay, that will stop us from falling into anger and frustration and maybe stooping to that person's level. When your full authentic self can step forwards, that's powerful. Very, very powerful way to meet another person. And also very validating for you, but also in some ways it challenges the other person to be their full authentic self too, in the best possible way. And I think that's a powerful way to show up, a way to show up without falling into negative emotions, and to just be fully aware of everything that's going on, and not letting the mind rule you, being very aware, being the observer of the mind, and being very much in control, from a higher perspective, not as in controlling yourself and repressing things, but being fully embodying all your emotions, being aware of them, being aware, well, my ego's saying this, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to meet this person with compassion. So certainly that's the first theme. I love the second one. You can make this up. Okay, 23. Let the emotions flow. Okay, so the emotions is just coming out already this year. It's already coming out this week. Here they come. They're literally water flowing out of this beautiful mouth in the forest into this beautiful cauldron. And are they tears? It's hard to say where the water's coming from. Is there a source here? All very, very green, all very connected to our natural, genuine, authentic self, to our natural being as well. I want to say connected very much to nature. Connected, I think there's a strong impulse to go outside, and where I am, the weather kind of isn't very conducive to that because it keeps tipping down with rain. But there's a pull to go outside, to balance those emotions, to feel calmer by spending time outside in nature, with trees, with plants, even if it's just getting outside and standing with a pot plant for 5 minutes. That will help. Put your hand on the soil, put your hand on the plant, get your hand on the grass, ground yourself. For me, this message is one of grounding. It's of using those emotions to actually create something new, to come up with a new idea, and then the mind can grab it from there and run with it. But the new ideas are going to come from the heart. They're going to come from emotion. They're going to come from feelings, from our intuition. And that's where the new plans, the new ideas, the new creations are going to come from this year very much. But that's already starting this year. Like I said, 2022, she's not hanging around. She's already running. She didn't come in walking, she came in running. And we're going to need to be ready for that. So, yeah, little reminder to go outside, but also allow those intuitions when they come through. Allow them to form in your mind. Allow yourself to daydream this week. See what comes up. Maybe write it down somewhere and let your mind pick it up and run with it, maybe later on in the year. And you'll find the way to actually put that into practice, put that into emotion so it becomes reality. So, oh, lovely. 37, 10, 1, no less, seek your destiny. So this is very transformative energy coming in here, and it's very mysterious. You know how well, look at that, look at that. The whole universe is inside this tree and also inside this little cat. And it's a reminder, I think, apart from anything else, that the whole universe is within us. We are the universe, we are connected, we are everything. As above, so below, as within, so without. We are everything, we are everybody else, which is why it doesn't help anyone when we hurt another person. We're hurting ourselves by doing it. Just most of us aren't aware of that reality because we're so disconnected from that level of consciousness, and that's the majority of people, I would say. Some of us know that on an intellectual level, but on a day-to-day level, you don't really feel it so much. Empathy allows us to feel it to an extent, but we're not quite at the level yet where we feel it, as an avatar, as someone who's really, spiritually enlightened would. But it's just a reminder that nonetheless, that is true. That's the truth. Again, the theme here for me, again, is going out into nature, going out to see trees, going out to spend time in greenery outside, reconnecting with nature so that we can reconnect with our true selves, with our own true nature. I think that's absolutely crucial this week, and it will become a theme, perhaps new habits being formed throughout the year, where we feel that we need to spend more time outside, more time in nature, and it becomes a habit, and we find ourselves actually going out more, going to places we didn't used to, and creating new habits, new hobbies, new ways of being. And I think that's one of the things we're going to see. Certainly spending more time among plants and trees in particular, because trees hold so much wisdom, and most people don't spend any time listening to them at all. If you do, kudos. But if you don't, hang out with some trees. They have a lot to say. But this is very powerful, and this speaks to me of the possibility for creation, the absolute possibility for creation, and the whole cosmos is there waiting for you. It's absolutely waiting for you, and it's watching you too. It's watching you as much as you're watching it. The universe is there. The universe is observing us as much as we're observing the universe, and it's just waiting for you to tell it. You want this? Okay, let's talk. Tell the universe what you want. Seek your destiny. Go looking for the things that you want. Begin to manifest them, but do it in the right way. Really go after your dreams. It's not a time to be a shrinking violet. It's not a decade to be a shrinking violet. Much as it might seem that it's a very difficult time in our history, and Lord knows that it is, it's certainly not an easy time. There have been other eras in human history, especially here in the West, where there seemed to be a lot more opportunity than there is now. Right now, in many ways, we feel restricted, we feel blocked. We feel that we can't move forwards, and perhaps this is the time when we should be focusing on doing that. It's when you think you can't may actually be the moment that you should. So, just one more card. Oh, beautiful. And coming in with a 10-1 energy, which is interesting because we just had 37, which is 37, so 3 plus 7 is 10, so that's 37, 10, 1. We've got another 10, 1. So 10 is the transformation. It's wonderful. It's the Wheel of Fortune. And it reduces to 1, which is the new beginning, which is also the self, and, making the decision which directions you want to go in. It's the arrow. Choose your direction and focus on it. So here we've got a very beautiful embracing the feminine, a little reminder here to embrace the feminine energy. She is so gentle. Now, I grew up in a time when, probably similar to now, girls at school are taught that they can do everything, that they should have careers, that they should basically act like men in many, many ways. And that does us a disservice in many ways. You know, it's useful to have options and choices, but I think it does us a disservice because we tend to forget that actually we're embodying feminine energy, very powerful feminine energy. And this isn't necessarily just for women, it's not necessarily gender specific here, because some people don't identify as the, the with the sex they were born with, but um, it is about embracing that feminine aspect of self, particularly I feel for women, very, very important that we embrace the feminine. We've forgotten who she is, The feminine doesn't stand around shouting at people. That's not what she does. She's nurturing, she's unconditional, she's loving. Okay, she's the mother. She's, you don't have to be a mother just because you're a woman. I mean, come on, we know this. But she's nurturing, she's kind. She is the peacemaker. It's a very masculine energy to be fighting, to be looking for arguments, to always have to be right. That's not the feminine energy. The feminine is the peacemaker. She's Venus. She comes in and she brings peace after war. And this is the energy that wants to come in here. She's asking us, to begin to embody that, to remember that the feminine has value. The feminine isn't weakness. The feminine is incredibly strong, but we've forgotten who she is. And in some ways, the things that we call sort of new feminism are incredibly masculine, and we've totally lost sight of true feminine energy there, which is a shame. But there is this whole transformation happening. A lot of people, I think a lot of women in particular, will be really sensing the feminine energy is coming back into us right now, so that we can really, again, find that balance within ourselves. It's that yin yang symbol, again, with the perfect harmony of the two energies, the masculine and the feminine, because we both embody both of them to some degree. They're all within all of us. So again, it's transformation, it's a new start, and it's finding balance with that feminine, with that creative energy, because the feminine is the creative energy, and we need her, or nothing new will ever be created. Okay, so just one more. What I'm going to ask now is, I'm just going to ask about the rest of the year. If there are any other themes for the rest of the year that we need to know about, we'll just have a little look there. I don't want this video to get too long. Okay. One card. Two card. Oh, okay. Well, all right then. This one wanted to come out again, so here we go. So, beautiful. I love this one. Not just because it's a cat, but yeah, okay, because it's a cat. Beautiful lion, have courage. I've already said this to a number of people in the last couple of days. Courage, have courage. 14-5. Yeah, balance. Have the courage to stand up and be you, be authentic, and to move in the direction you need to move in. There's also, with this card, I'm reminded of a very strong connection right now with ancient Egypt and with what are they called? I think it's the Lyrian star system, where there's a connection with Sekhmet, Bastet, some of the Greek goddesses, particularly the cat ones, the white lions of Timbavati, the entities which are very feline in nature. They are very much stepping forward to help us right now. I recently acquired a cat myself who embodies all of these energies. He's a very, very interesting cat. He's very gentle, very lion-like in many ways. And the lion is incredibly wise. The energy of the spirit animal is very wise, very loving, very creative as well. And there is definitely this powerful, courageous energy that's very gently nudging us forwards right now, which is encouraging us, sort of pushing us forwards with its soft, furry nose, saying, come on, you can do this, we're here to support you. And I think that is one of the roles that many cats actually play, domesticated cats play in our daily lives. But we will need courage this year. We will need it by the bucket load. But it's courage that is tempered with humility, because look at these lion's eyes. Look how gentle they are. He's not proud and pushy or, self-important. He's very gentle. Look at his energy. He's also very watery with his mane, how it flows. To me, it's almost like expressing the emotion there, all these emotions, this empathy coming through from this card. So we will absolutely need courage to get through this year. And the second card is actually the first one we had a moment ago. So it's come out again. Obviously, really wants to make a point. It is about being authentic, about being your true self. So it's a 34/7. And it's a very mystical energy with that number combination as well, 34/7. 7 is the mystic, the mystic, excuse me. And the mystic often wants to hide, wants to step back from society, says, well, yeah, I know these spiritual truths, but I don't really want to have to deal with those other people over there because they might not like me, they might not accept me for my mystical self. So I'm going to stay in this cave over here and just be, really cool in my robes and, with my spirituality. But in some ways, I feel the greater theme here will be unmasking your spirituality, being truly authentic about who you are on a spiritual level. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out for each one of us, because that will, of course, be different for every single person. Everyone's experience of spirituality is different. Of course, there's no one size fits all spirituality. That in itself is going to be interesting, but it comes from a place of great wisdom and great love as well. If we look at the heart, if you can see that, the heart on the third eye chakra here, it's coming from a place of great wisdom and great love. And that's how we need to approach the rest of this year, with wisdom, with empathy, with love, but also with our true authentic self. And the full, whole, authentic being doesn't take any crap. But it's like a mother dealing with a child. When your child's having a tantrum, you don't get down to their level and have a tantrum back at them. You say, I understand that you're not feeling okay. You're dealing with difficult emotions, or you just dropped your toy. Okay, calm down. Let's fix this together. Okay. And I think that's what we're going to have to do. Some of us are going to have to step up and be the voice of reason this year to sort of pour the cool water onto the turbulent emotions of 2022, because Lord knows they're going to be turbulent, they're going to be crazy. It's going to be a very, very, very polarized year in many ways. But if we can step up as our true authentic selves, other people will be inspired to follow our example, and that will get us through the year. Okay. So thank you very much for watching to the end. If you've got this far with me, please do leave me a like. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I would love to hear your comments and what your hopes, dreams and ambitions are for this year 2022. And I will speak to you again soon. Bye bye.